It's complicated. Tell us what's happening today.
Well, right now, the New Jersey Assembly is voting on a bill that would legalize same-sex marriage. It is expected to pass. We don't know the outcome yet, but it is expected to pass. The Senate in New Jersey passed the same bill 24-16 on Monday. So this, if they pass it today, it will go to the governor, Christie, who has vowed to veto it. But that will not be the end of the fight. The Democrats in New Jersey say that they will fight to override that veto. They do not have the votes yet to override that veto. They need a 2/3 majority in both houses to do that. So there will be a big lobbying effort. They have until January 2014 to convince 3 or 4 Republicans to come to their side in each house.
And Michael, several of these battles, as we saw in California recently, have ultimately ended up in court. Is Jersey going to be any different? Or, is a panel of judges ultimately going to decide this?
It doesn't seem that the courts will get involved. This would be legislation. It'd be very clear that the legislature has the authority to do this. What Governor Christie has proposed instead is to have a public referendum on the issue and make a constitutional amendment, and that could happen as soon as this November, were they to do it. But the Democrats in the Senate say that will not happen. It is possible there could be a court challenge, but that is not what is sort of being talked about right now.
So, as far as I understand it, and I'm occasionally wrong on these, as far as I understand it, we live in a representative democracy where we vote, and even in New Jersey, they vote elected representatives to represent them. They are now having that vote and being representing their people and doing the vote in the Senate and the New Jersey state legislature, and they're saying, we're going for it. Why is Chris Christie getting in the way of that?
Well, he has national ambitions, as you know. There's been a lot of talk about him running for president. At some point, he declined to do that this year, but 2016, 2020 is still an option for him. Allowing gay marriage to go through would complicate his efforts to win a Republican primary in the future, and I think a lot of people would say that that is on his mind right now.
So he's politicizing a process right now.
Well, he would say he was not politicizing it because he's calling for a public referendum, and so he is. Would say that he's putting it to the people, and that the legislature is the one politicizing it. But you could make that argument either way.
It sounds like, to your point, Bob, it sounds like a dodge. It's a tricky situation. Let's not actually have to make any decisions. Let's put it to the people, and they'll decide. But if we did that with everything, we wouldn't be able to. No one would be able to govern. It would be complete chaos.
Yeah, it certainly would. And if Chris Christie is simply sitting here thinking, what does this do to my political ambitions in 2016 or 2020? Then, how do you come to any conclusion except that he's politicizing this process? Yeah. Obviously, this is blood in the water sort of issue for social conservatives in the GOP. I mean, gay marriage is a hot button issue for
social conservatives, but not for the fiscal conservative part of the Republican Party, who really don't seem to mind one way or the other.
And let's point out, we've got how many states that have already, is it 26 states that have already given some sort of a nod towards approval of gay marriage? I mean,
it's not that many. It's actually, there are 7 states in the District of Columbia that have legalized gay marriage. Actually, most states, I think it's more than 30 states, I don't know the exact number, have constitutional amendments, banning the practice.
Right now, right.
But there is a growing movement toward legalizing it. Maryland is also taking a bill this week to legalize gay marriage. Washington State just signed the bill legalizing gay marriage. This is increasingly happening across the country. There are debates in state legislatures about this happening. You could argue that Christie is punting on it because doing a constitutional amendment and a public referendum is very complicated in New Jersey. It needs a 3/5 vote in the state legislature, which is controlled by Democrats, and then it would go to the public. So it's not going to happen.